Okay, so I did a quick dirty measurement of the tires, kind of see where our alignment is, and you know, it really doesn't look all that bad. The only issue I have, and I didn't measure this distance, and actually I forgot to measure this side. I did a lower measurement down at the bottom to center of the tire to center of the tire on the other side, and they're probably maybe off by within like a hair. But what I measured was from this bolt here to where the little nipples used to be on there, and this one is a hair off. The tire's up in the wheel well a little bit more. So I didn't base any of my measurements off the body because I know some stuff has been fiddled with in the past and it's not necessarily straight. I mean, look at, there's a freaking dent right here. Push it back or something. So I mean, you look at this, you're like, look at the gap, and then you're at this wheel and you're like, I don't know, something looks weird. Maybe the fender needs to come in more, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell because this hood is off alignment, so I don't think that's it. So it may need some coil springs. I know for the longest time this side had a flat tire when it sat, so it leaned over more, so that spring could be sagged a little bit. I'm going to take a few more measurements and see if the beams are off at all, like compare it to the frame, and we'll see how it is. I do think we need definitely a steering alignment. It's, you know, a little bit of tire wear there. We got quite a bit of tread still, and they actually don't look like they've been wearing that bad. The only thing that it wears is this outside, just a little bit when you turn because your angles change. So I think that's fine. And then this side looks good. I think I still will take it into a shop and have them check it out. But I'm debating whether or not I want to buy new springs for this thing and then have it get aligned. I mean, I'm gonna make some measurements. If I find this side is closer to the frame than the other side, then I'll probably just buy some new springs. I mean, might as well. I really only want to spend like a couple $100 getting this thing ready for my 1,600-mile road trip. But also, I want it to. I want the alignment to be done right. So, I think we might do some new coil springs. So I'm gonna make some more measurements, figure stuff out. I was thinking about replacing my tie rod dust boots, but I think, fuck it, I'm gonna leave it. I'm just gonna replace hoses. That's pretty much all I'm doing. Hoses and bushings up front. We'll just keep it cheap, just so we can get a good steering alignment, so that we're not wearing our tires and not putting a unnecessary load on the engine and transmission and everything. So, but the other thing I want to do, aside from put my fuel pressure regulator back in, so I want to get rid of my DEQ pipes. I'm thinking about just taking the whole muffler and everything off. Hey, for those of you who are new, you can look at this is my frame. There's nice and solid. It would be nice if Ford had boxed this in like they do on their newer trucks, but oh freaking well. That's my brand new vacuum modulator. I might as well just back that out quite a bit while I'm here. Here we have the burnt trailer wire. Whoever last did the trailer wiring in the back left the big positive wire exposed, and it touched the frame randomly, and it just made a mess. So I'm lucky it didn't get any further than it did. All it really did was just melt and sizzle, and then I just disconnected the battery and then cut the wire out, and what an ordeal. Anyways, I'm gonna get some Honda vacuum hoses, and we'll go ahead and just replace these. I'm surprised these are as good as they are. I mean, look at that. They're not dry rot or nothing. Okay, so I figured out this side is sagging a little bit, so I think I am going to buy some coil springs for it. Basically, having removed my bump stops helps out with the ride a lot. It's great. But removing them gave me a little bit more room to get my tape measure in there. So on this side, between the highest point on the axle where the bump stop would normally hit, is a little under 3.5 inches, and then the other side is a little over 3.5 inches. So I think what I'm gonna do, I can either buy new coil springs, or I can take an old tire from out back, right? Cut up a couple of sections, and then put it on top of that insulator right there, that little rubber piece. That's something we could do. I don't even have to take the coil spring out all the way. I can just lift the suspension up and, well, no, I'll have to take it out. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I think I might just do new coil springs. I mean, it's $75 for a pair from AutoZone. They're all nicely repainted, fresh, brand new. They're not tired. So yeah. So I think we might do some coil springs. Why not? Fuck it. Fuck it. Clear. Has it got any catalytic converter in it? Oh yeah, it does. Oh, I've never heard it with this exhaust setup with the new intake and carburetor. Oh my God! Couple of pops. Just because it's cold. You can't romp on a carbureted vehicle when it's cold. Otherwise it'll cough out the carb. Just happens. Okay. Alrighty then. Oh. Okay, so I just found our first failure point. Let me show you this. This is why I'm doing new heater hoses. Okay, so that was gonna go. I need a new heater hose. Okay. That makes me not want to take it for test drive now. Alright. I'm gonna have this ready to go. Okay. That worked out better than I had planned. So, if the hose won't come off and you know you're going to cut it, this is a modified little razor blade thing, which now it's going to fall apart because there's gas all over it. I'm going to get some clippers. Actually, rather, I'm just going to get rid of this cup since I didn't need it. This guy here. is going to go on there. Like so. Oh, it's a tight fit. Okay, let's see, is that a cross point? That is a flathead. And you can't see all of what I'm doing. I hope. I'm not even going to fast forward this, it's just going to be a video. Now this one I'm going to be wanting to get to. No, that's not going to go around. Let's put that on lightly. That way we don't have any further issues with it. See if we can get some fuel out of this. Whatever will come out of that line. I'll put that fuel next to my an ignition source. You know what I want to do? So we got a clamp ready to go there. We'll just cut it right off here. Wow, shoot, that slipped on there like a freaking lizard. I don't know what that means. Hello, Mr. Radiator Hose. You're pretty warm. What I really don't like, the way this fuel system is set up, this is not from the factory. The old factory setup was this steel line would it would come up and then it would do something to your somewhere this way. This is like it's going this and that way, and then it's up and then now it's going that way. I just don't like that it's right on the distributor. I just want to cut it somewhere and then run a new hose back through there and that way, or something safer. What we're gonna do just for temporary purposes. God damn it. Cut. Zip ties. Bye bye. Goodbye. There. Smash it back on there. I'm going to position this in a new spot. Okay. So I need to bring my idle down a little bit. dousing right now. I'll show you. Seems to be a little bit lower. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I left with about a half tank of gas. I came back with about a half a tank of gas. And I just did like a freaking 10-mile thingamajig on the highway. And it just drives so much better. I mean, it's got way more power. It's a little bit louder on the highway. It's bearable. I think I'll just wear earplugs. But I will tell you one thing: the throttle response is, for a 308 gear set, it's something. Yeah, I've got my fuel pressure regulator set to 5 psi. I don't see any leaks. Not at the moment, anyways. Looks like this all bled itself out. We're not leaking anymore. I'm still gonna get new hose. This stuff is pretty old and it's got a little bit of crusty lineage, and I want to get rid of that. That is a reliability right there. This thing, I know, if I leave that in there, that will pop right as I get to Pendleton, or just before it will pop. So brake thing stopped leaking. I added this clamp. That worked a lot better. Yeah, no fuel leaks, 5 psi the whole time. Lots of more throttle response, a little bit louder. Oh well. Exhaust smells better. I think this is just unnecessary. But it's just running a whole lot better. And it'll cruise real easily at 70 miles an hour on the highway. I think I'm doing about, I left a file here, doing about 70-ish. Or actually, when I go to 75, it's a little off. So it's close to 70 at about $3,000, and it sounds fine. It's got, I mean, I barely use the pedal to keep it at that speed on the highway. And some of the highways we have around here, the real shitty ones, will kind of, you know, make this thing be a little squirrely at that speed. But when I take the 26 down the road, it's not as bad. But it's just when you get into ruts, it's just, you know, any car is going to be crap. But yeah, this thing's a lot happier, I would say. Again, got that right at 5 psi. Got some new hoses up here. Later, when this thing is cold, I'll go ahead and replace this hose here. I'm going to pull the whole pump out and everything. I might as well change the fluid on that. I haven't changed it in 2 years. So, I'm spending a lot of sitting and different temperature changes. Probably just change the fluid just because, to save the pump. Because as we all know, these pumps really aren't the best. The rebuilt ones are a lot better, but still they can be a bitch. I still like Mopar. Got a Mopar down there. Brakes, this has been working great for the past few weeks. It's still solid. Brakes work fantastic. I'm pretty happy with our little fix. We cut this little leaky hose end off. And again, I'm still going to buy a new hose for both sides so that we don't have to worry about that. We didn't lose a whole lot of coolant. It didn't suck anything, so. And this is our, I was running it normal the whole time. The gauge didn't go hot. I had the fan on too, and it was fine. My gauge is like over here on the O on normal. And then when the cooling side of this radiator, this is what the temperature is. This would be about 140 normal driving. The actual, at the thermostat, we get at about 180. I put my temp gun on, I got 180, 190. It's a little bit hotter out, maybe 200, but that's all reasonable. Before it was like, it'd be at 40 degrees. You'd have the fan on, the temp gauge would be way hot, and then you find out the ground wire's dicked, and then it needs to have a 195 degree thermostat. So I think this guy is doing about 20 mpgs, I think. Because again, I went on the highway, my gas gauge hardly moved at all. So basically, I know it'll get 20 mpg. I got it before. This is the underside. Okay, it's just what have you, whatever. Look, it's just a freaking straight pipe, no muffler, 2-inch exhaust. We have a open differential. It's a 308 gear set, which I'm actually need to top my fluid off. Or actually I might change it out. I got a free jug of gear oil in this box of goodies. It's right here. So I'll change that out. Let's see, did anybody call me? Nope! Well, anyways, we just got some hoses left to replace, some bushings to change out. I will figure out if I'm going to get those coil springs or not. Probably won't be a bad idea. And then take it in for an alignment. So I'll have to figure that out. I don't know when I'll replace those coil springs. Maybe next month. Because after this month I'll have a whole bunch of cash. So maybe then I'll think about it and buy new ones. But I think for next week we're gonna replace the let me just show you so I'm not pointing at random stuff. We're gonna replace these bushings here with the polyurethane ones, and then both sides of course, and then our axle pivot bushings. That's what mine look like right now. I'm just gonna replace these with the factory style ones. The energy suspension kit says to reuse the outer shells, but I think doing that I'm gonna have to do a whole lot of pressing stuff, and I just don't want to dick with that. I mean, the factory ones are like $8. So I'm gonna buy a pair at AutoZone. They're the Duralast ones, but they're made by Moog, so whatever. We'll just take these axles out. I'll pop them in. Maybe clean the axles up and paint them red for extra horsepower. I don't know. But yeah, we'll just do new bushings up front. Maybe some new coil springs. I'm thinking new coil springs would be a good idea, since it's like $75 for a pair. And then steering alignment. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. We're doing stuff. And I'm got a job and I'm making monies now. I'll get paid next week, I think. I should get a nice fat check. Transmission fluid, the last check was nice and pink. It was a reddish pink color, real nice. Smelled good. Smelled like it was never smelled burnt in this truck. Even when I first bought it, it all smelled good. But it has like a celery smell. It's really weird. But anyways, I gotta go. My battery's gonna die, and my other battery's dead. So this is just dicked.